Assalamualaikum everyone, this is Ahmed and welcome to our chemistry class. Today we are going to cover the rest of the chapter 2.06. Let's not delay anymore and let's begin. So, I would request everyone to please write the chapter name and number chapter 2.06 covalent substances. In the previous class, I have given a short lecture on what is a molecule, and we have also seen some examples of molecules and covalent bond, diatomic molecule. I have given a short review on that thing in the previous class. So today I am going to give a short review on the previous things also. In the previous class, we have learned that what's a molecule. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by covalent bond. A molecule is a group of atoms joined by covalent bond. The bonding pair of electrons hold together by strong force of attraction between them. And this force of attraction is known as covalent bond. The bonded atoms forms a molecule. Hydrogen atoms forms diatomic molecules by covalent. Diatomic molecule means the molecule that has two atoms. Diatomic molecule means the molecule that has two atoms. Examples of molecules are water, chlorine atom, ammonia, ammonium, methane. Water is H2O. Chlorine is also a diatomic molecule. Ammonia NH3, which is not a diatomic molecule. Ammonia, which is NH4, which is also not a diatomic molecule. Methane, which is CH4, it is also not a diatomic molecule. Now, covalent bond is a chemical bond in pairs of electrons. Covalent bond is a chemical bond in pairs of electrons are shared. Covalent bond is a chemical bond. Covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. Full stop. Covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of atoms are shared between two atoms. It is also called the molecular bond. Molecules are made of non-metal atoms. Molecules are made of non-metal atoms joined by strong covalent bonds. Molecules are made of non-metal atoms joined by strong covalent bonds. Oxygen O2, water H2O, ammonia NH3 exist as molecule. Molecular solids. Iodine is a good example of molecular solid. Each iodine molecule contains two atoms held together by strong covalent bond. Iodine is a good example of molecular solid. Each iodine molecule contains two atoms held together by a strong covalent bond. What is molecular solid? Molecular solids are solids that are essentially collections of molecules. Molecular solids are solids that are essentially collections of molecules held together by intermolecular forces, INFs. The solid structure is maintained by intermolecular forces rather than bonds like metallic, covalent or ionic. The forces holding solids together are much weaker than for other types of solids. Molecular solids are solids that are essentially collections of molecules held together by intermolecular forces. Full stop. The solid structure is maintained by intermolecular forces rather than bonds. Give bracket and write metallic, covalent or ionic. Spelling of metallic is METALLIC. Metallic. Covalent 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 or ionic. The forces holding and close the bracket and give full stop. The forces holding solids together are much weaker than for other types of solids. Now, let's come to today's point or today's lecture. and it starts with, please give the heading properties of molecular solid. Properties of molecular solids. First, I am going to dictate the thing and we'll try to make you guys understand. Later on, I am going to write this thing. Molecular solids have melting point and boiling point. Molecular solids have low melting point and boiling point. Molecular solids have low melting point and boiling point. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Molecular solids have low melting point and boiling point. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Molecular solids have low melting point and boiling point. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Please write these two things. Now, the reason why molecular solids have low melting and boiling point is because the forces between molecules are weak. Molecular solids have low forces of low boiling and melting point because molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because the forces between the molecular solids, the forces between the molecules are weak. The forces between the molecules in the solid form is very weak. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because the forces between the molecules are weak. In fact, many molecular substances melt and boil below room temperature. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because the forces between the molecules are weak, for which a low amount of energy is needed to break the molecules or break the bonds between the molecules. It's not any kind of bond, the force. To overcome the force between the molecules as the molecular solids have low melting and boiling points, and it's because the forces between the molecules are weak. The forces between the molecules are weak, that is why it has low melting and boiling point, and for which a low amount of energy is needed, or a low amount of temperature or heat is needed to overcome the force between the molecules. To overcome the force between the molecules, a low amount of energy is needed. In fact, many molecular substances melt and boil below room temperature, which is the normal room temperature or the average room temperature, which is considered, that is 25 degrees Celsius. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity because molecules are not charged. So molecular substances cannot conduct electricity even when weighted. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity because they do not have any overall charge. As they do not have any overall charge, therefore they cannot carry electricity even when they are melted. There is no free ions or there is no free electron to move, so hence the electricity cannot be carried. No worries, I will write these things right now. Not all covalent solids are molecular. Please give a note and write not all covalent substances are molecular. Not all covalent solids 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 are molecular. So, as you guys are seeing that I have written the properties of molecular solid. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point. Let me correct it. Give me a second. Yeah, now it's correct. See, molecular solids have low melting and boiling point. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Let me repeat the whole thing one more time. Then I'm going to write the reasons why the molecular solids have these two properties. I'm going to write the reason. No worries. Properties of molecular solids. Properties of molecular solids. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Full stop. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Full stop. So, let me make you guys remember the thing I have just said a few minutes ago, and that is that why does molecular solids have low melting and boiling point? As the molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because the forces between the molecules is very weak or weak. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because the forces between the molecules are weak. The molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because the forces between the molecules are weak. Therefore, a low amount of energy is needed. Therefore, a low amount of energy is needed to overcome the forces. Therefore, a low amount of energy is needed to overcome the forces. Hence, it has low melting and boiling point. অথবা এইটা লাস্টটুকু না দিলেও চলবে। For as you have written that molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because if we have written this thing, then you don't have to write the last part. Hence, it has low melting and boiling point. But if you write in this way that the forces between the molecules are weak. The forces between the molecules are weak. Therefore, a low amount of energy is needed to overcome the forces between the molecules, or the force between the molecules are weak. Therefore, a low amount of energy is needed to overcome the force. Hence, it has low melting and boiling point. Both of the things means the same, but both are written in different way. One, you have copied the whole thing, the whole property, and have written because and continued from that point, or you directly started from the reason. One is you have to write the property and give because and write the reason, or you can directly write the reason and at the last you can say that hence it has low melting and boiling point. Full stop. The second reason why molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity because molecules are not charged. Because the molecules are not charged. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity because the molecules have no charge, or molecules do not have charge. That is why the molecules, even though they are melted, there is no free ion or free electron to move. Hence, the molecular solids do not conduct electricity. So let me just not talk about this thing. Let me write it to show you guys. So, as you see that I have written the first way of writing the reason of the first property. I would request everyone, please give a star and write the word reason, then give colon and underline the whole thing. Reason, colon, underline, right? First way to write, colon, give underline, then write this thing. Molecular solids have low melting and boiling point because the force between the molecules are weak. Therefore, a low / minimum amount of energy is needed to overcome the force. Therefore, a low or minimum amount of energy is needed to overcome the force. If you write low, you don't need to write minimum. If you write minimum, you don't need to write low. Even though that's the basic knowledge, but still I am saying molecular solids have no melting and boiling point because the force between the molecules are weak. Therefore, a low or even amount of energy is needed to overcome the force. I hope you guys have taken an essay or you guys have written. Every time I dictate the answer after writing because my handwriting maybe not clear, is unclear to anyone. If my handwriting is unclear to anyone, so it will help them to understand that what I have written in the board. As my board is not so big, the writing is very congested. So I am trying my best to write in an appropriate way in this congested area. So let's not talk too much and let's see the second way of writing the same answer. So the forces between the molecules. This is the second way of writing the reason of the first property. This is the second way of writing the reason of the first property. The forces between the molecules is low. Therefore, a low amount of energy is needed to overcome the force. Hence, it has no melting and boiling. But the force between the molecules is low. Therefore, the force between the molecules is low. Full stop. The force between the molecules is low. molecules molecules is low. Full stop. Therefore, THEREFORE for therefore, a low amount of energy is needed to overcome the force. Hence, to overcome the force, full stop. Hence, 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 it has no melting and boiling point, full stop. The force between the molecules is low, full stop. Therefore, a low amount of energy is needed to overcome the force, full stop. Hence, it has no melting and boiling point, full stop. This is the second way of writing the reason of the first property. I hope you guys have taken essays or written this thing. So now I'm going to erase this thing and write the first way of writing the reason of the second property. So let's not delay and let's write it. So this is the first way to write the reason for the second property, which is molecular solids do not conduct electricity. The second property was molecular solids do not conduct electricity, and the reason is molecular solids do not conduct electricity because molecules are not charged. Full stop. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity because molecules are not charged. Full stop. Therefore, it does not have any free ions or electrons. Therefore, it does not have any free ion or electron to carry electricity. Even if the solids are melted. Therefore, it does not have any free ion or free electron to carry electricity, even if the solids are melted. Full stop. Molecular solids do not conduct electricity because molecules are not charged. Therefore, it does not have any free ion or electron to carry electricity, even if the solids are melted. Full stop. I hope you guys have taken essays or written the thing. Now I am going to write the second way of writing the reason of the second property, which is molecular solids do not conduct electricity. So this is the second way of writing the reason of the second property, which is molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Molecules do not have any charge. Full stop. Molecules do not have any charge. Full stop. Therefore, it does not have any free ion or electron to carry electricity. Full stop. Hence, molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Full stop. Molecules do not have any charge. Full stop. Therefore, it does not have any free ion or electron to carry electricity. Full stop. Hence, molecular solids do not conduct electricity. Full stop. Please remember the thing that not all covalent solids are molecular. Not all covalent solids are molecular. Although you don't need to know all this, you don't need to know the things I am saying right now, except the melting point of the water. The melting point of the of pure water is 0 degrees Celsius, and the boiling point of pure water is exactly at 100 degrees Celsius. So the melting point of hydrogen is minus 259 degrees Celsius. Melting point of oxygen is minus 219 degrees Celsius. Melting point of pure water is 0 degrees Celsius. Melting of silicon dioxide, which is silica, that is 1610 degrees Celsius, which is 1610 degrees Celsius. And the melting point of carbon as diamond is, which is greater than 3550 degrees Celsius, means that the diamond needs more than 3550 degrees Celsius of heat to melt. So let's keep it till today. আজকে জন্য এতটুকুই থাক, as this is a huge chapter we are going to need all the time we have right now. So that doesn't make the video too long. So assalamu alaikum everyone for today.